Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a Dazzled or Disappointed for you on the new Fenty Moroccan Spice collection, her eyeshadow palette, but she released a couple of other things in conjunction with that. You know, whenever Fenty releases something, whenever Rihanna comes through with another collection or another launch, I'm all about that. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it because I love the brand. Every single thing I've tried, I love the quality. So I was really interested to see how I was going to like this, especially because I know there was a few pop-up shops prior to the actual launch, so there was kind of some mixed reviews going on. And anyways, so that's what I've got here for you today. So if you're interested in seeing how this palette worked out for me, if you're interested in seeing swatches, aside from what you've already seen on YouTube these past few days, then just keep on watching. Okay guys, let's go through the normal stuff. So the box comes like this, pretty simple, very sleek, very, very pretty. And it does have the layout of the shades as well as the shade names on the back. The actual palette looks very much like her Galaxy palette from the holidays. It's that kind of, it's got this little, I don't even know how to describe it to you. So it's like an acrylic and it's got this shape where it's kind of beveled, I guess. Is that the word? I don't know. Anyways, the shape is the same. I'm horrible with describing shapes. What I like about this one is it's got the pretty clouds. It's got that little theme going on. I really, really like that. And again, you have the layout with the shade names on the back of the palette. You do get 16 shades in this palette. Of those 16, 7 are matte. And also, just to let you know, this product is made in Canada. Let me see if I can tell how much there is on here. Okay, so I'm sorry, there's 15 shades, not 16. There's 15 shades at 0.9 grams, so 0.03 or 0.03 ounces. So that's what we've got there. So that's that. Also, to let you know, I did pick up the Flyliner and I did pick up the eyeshadow primer. So I'll take you into a few thoughts after we go through the palette, just to kind of, if you were curious about either one of these products, that way you know how they worked out for me. I probably should give you a price on this. It is $59, which yes, seems kind of steep, but that is what her Galaxy palette was as well. So this is consistent with that same price tag. Before we go into swatches, I almost forgot to give you the layout of the inside of the palette, duh. But the mirror, as with the Galaxy palette, comes over here, a pretty full-size mirror, and then these are the shades that you get. You do get 7 mattes and about 8, or you do get 8 more shimmer shades. A couple of them are that Galaxy palette type of consistency, that kind of loose glitter. So we'll go through those here in a second as well. So now let me grab the swatches and I'll be right back. For the first 4, we have got, let's see, I forget that this layout is a little bit different. Okay, we've got, I don't even know if I'll ever pronounce this right, Shisha Smoke, Moroccan Ice, Sock It To Me, and Evil Genie. And that's what those look like there. So that one's kind of a little bit patchy, not as pigmented. That was not operator error. Sometimes it is operator error. That one was not. So that's what those look like. Be right back with the next 4. For the next 4, we have Sahara Stunna, Mirage, Nuts and Dates, and Fez Up. I wonder how they come up with these names. Cracks me up. Their little play on words. And that's what those look like right there. Trying to get you some good sunlight for these because those really do stand out in the sun. Really pretty. Next up, we've got Quicksand, Casablanca, which by the way is one of my very favorite movies of all time. If you are an oldie, you know what I'm talking about. If you like oldie movies, not if you're an oldie, that sounds horrible. If you're an oldie movie lover like me, you know what that is. If not, you need to go check that out. That one's classic and I love that one so much. Let's see, where were we? Okay, let me start again. Quicksand, Casablanca, Henna, Sea, and Saffron. So you can already tell the mattes don't really swatch as pigmented as they appear in the pan. So these two and this one down here, they don't come out looking as opaque, but we will go into more thoughts on that here in a sec. For the last 4, we have Desert Baked, Marrakesh, Spice Trip, and Come and Get It. and Come and Get It is spelled like cumin, which is so funny. That's very, very cute. Here's what those look like right there, and those are the last 4 in the palette. Now that we've gone through all those swatches, let's go ahead and dive into what I am wearing on my eyes today. I am wearing only this palette. I did not use anything else in conjunction with it, and I have found over the course of using this palette that I have been able to piece together looks only using this palette. I haven't needed to bring in something else to kind of complete the look. And so that being said, so I'm just going to say I have watched a YouTube video, so in which I'll tell you who in a second. The person who was doing the makeup look said she had to use another palette with the look. But we'll get into all that. I feel like sometimes I'm so scatterbrained, I forget one thought and I move on to another. So let's just go ahead and do the eye look first. So all over my crease, I have the shade, this one's going to be, okay, so I've got Quicksand, which is this peachy shade right here. All over my lid to deepen it up, I have the shade right next to it, which is called Fez Up. I have that one on my outer portion of my lid, as well as to deepen up my crease. Most of the lid crease color, not all over crease color, but most of the lid, because I left some on the outer portions for that darker shade. I did use the shade Casablanca, which is right here. It's that sparkly shade. It's one of those that has the same type of formulation as the Galaxy palette. And then lastly, on my inner corner, I do have, let's see, this light pink shade, which is Sahara Stunna. This one right here, I love how she incorporated the name Stunna, because as you know, her red liquid lipstick is the Stunna lip paint. So that's what I have there. On my lower lash line, I do have this same brown look. I have lately been doing strictly the same eyeshadow shade that I'm using on the outer portion of my lid, and to deepen up my crease, I've been running that across my lower lash line. I've really been loving it, how that ends up working out, which was the shade Fez Up. So that one is on my lower lash line as well. Let's zoom you in so that you can kind of take a look up close and see what I did. And I'll walk you through it one more time if this thing will focus. Okay, so let's go through this one more time. So on the crease, I feel like I'm losing my words right now. Quicksand is on my crease, Fez Up is on the outer corner, and in the, to deepen up the crease, Casablanca is mostly on the lid. Inner corner is Sahara Stunna, and then Fez Up is also on the lower lash line. My brow bone highlight is actually from my highlighter palette, so that is something I did not grab from this palette, but I'm not real consistent with using brow bone eyeshadow, brow bone highlight. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And by the time I thought of it, I was already putting on my highlights. So that's what that looks like right there. I did feel very like the vibe, the Moroccan vibe with a lot of these tones. As I was putting it on for the first time, I was like, wow, like I really do just the warm tones, the kind of terracotta, I really, it gave me that vibe. Okay, so let me take you into thoughts. So first off, yes, $59 is kind of pricey. You're getting into Huda Beauty at that point, which I love Huda Beauty as well. So that is something to consider, is the price tag, that it is $59. Now, let me just, I'm kind of going to say first off, while I still have this thought in my head, going back to what I had said earlier about me watching a video on YouTube, which a lot of times I don't do because I want to give like an unbiased opinion, but so many people were getting it in PR, and that pop-up shop, or the pop-up shop in New York, was happening several days. So I ended up watching a couple videos, one of them being Jackie Aina. And she was saying that the thing about it is, on her skin tone, a lot of this was not working for her. So like, for example, the one that worked great for me, this one, which one was that one again? Quicksand. It just really was kind of blending into her skin tone. And so she did have to grab another palette to join up with this one in order to create and complete out her look. So If I were to just look at this, I would say, okay, I think this would suit a lot of different skin tones, including my deeper skin tone ladies. But it's funny because that video was very eye-opening to me, because what I might think might be suitable for a deeper skin tone lady may really not be. So when I saw her video and how she was having trouble with some of the shades, I was like, oh, okay. So I just want to put that out there for my deeper skin tone ladies. If you have not watched Jackie Aina's video, you may want to check that one out, since she is a woman of color, and see how it worked out for her, because she does the whole look on camera and everything. So that being said, again, it has about, let's see, it's got about 3 of the formulation type shades from the Galaxy palette, and a lot of people did not like that. Now, I think not as many people are opposed to it being in a palette where you have several different types. You've got the mattes, the satins, maybe the foiled, and those sparkly type shades, because then you've got a mix and this can be your one-stop shop. With the Galaxy palette, it was nothing but the glitter shades, which is okay with me, not okay with a lot of people. So that is going to be these 3 shades here. Those are consistent with the Galaxy formula. Like I said, you've got 7 matte shades in here. I will say that they don't all perform consistent. A lot of them, I would say about 4 out of the 7 are very, very dry and chalky to the touch. The only one that I really had issues with is this gray smoky one right here, which is called Shisha Smoke. I might be saying that totally wrong. If I am, correct me. But this one right here is the only one I really had problems with, just kind of being streaky, kind of like skipping, and just being kind of difficult to blend in. That's really the only one I had issues with, because the other matte shades, despite them being very stiff and chalky to the touch, very dry, I had absolutely no problems. They blended in very well. I was able to complete my look quick and easy. You know, I'm all about easy, non-complex eye looks, and I really found none of that with the rest of them, even though to the touch they are very dry and chalky. But this gray one for me did really not work. Going into these satiny type of shades, these foiled type of shades, they are some of the softest shades. I feel like lately I've been saying that about a lot of things. This is some of the softest shades I've ever felt, and this is no exception. Some of these foiled shades, or pretty much all of them, are very, very soft, rich in pigmentation. Using a brush is pretty much as good as using your finger, even though I like to use my finger because it provides a quicker intense application with the brush. Sometimes you gotta kind of build a little bit, but you can achieve the same look with a brush as you can with your finger. So, I mean, no complaints there. It's just amazing. So, the first time that I used this palette, I'm gonna say I was just like blown away, and I know a lot of people are kind of like, not really crazy about it because of the mattes, maybe kind of skipping, not as pigmented, this and that. The first time I used it, I was like, this thing is so amazing. And I really had to kind of reel myself in, because you know how I feel about Fenty products, and especially how I felt about the summer collection. And I just feel like Fenty, like Rihanna, can do no wrong when it comes to makeup. Everything she releases is just on point, hits the mark, meets my needs. And so I thought, okay, am I being really biased because I already had it in my head that I thought I was gonna love this palette, and like my first use, I'm already loving it, but why are a lot of people not loving it so much? And honestly, I have used it several times and I have loved it each and every time. So I don't know, I've put the biased opinion out of my head, because I'm like, okay, well, I just really need to know, like, as a product, is this a good product? I love it. I have not had any issues. I will remind you guys that have been with me, and those of you who are new, I am a light medium skin tone. So these shades appear they show up very, very nicely on my skin, build up incredibly, just very, very visible, very rich. But again, because of Jackie Aina's video that I would have thought a couple of these would have worked, they didn't. So I am going to probably, you know, put out there that it might not be for my deeper skin tone ladies, although some of these jewel toned shades I feel like would be so stunning on you. I also want to add that I have been using this palette in conjunction with the eyeshadow primer. Now, I have used it once without the eyeshadow primer, and going my normal concealer route, and honestly, I still loved it. However, in using this eyeshadow primer, not only with this palette, but also with another palette. I can't even tell you how blown away I am by this eyeshadow primer. Just recently I got into using concealer for my eyelid because I'm like, this is quick and easy. It gives me the base I need. It holds on to my eyeshadow all day. And then I used this and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to go back to using eyeshadow primer on a daily basis because now I don't think I can live without this. It has a little bit of a tacky consistency. If you're familiar with the face primer, you know that one to be it's creamy, but at the same time, it's got a little bit of tackiness. It's very, very smooth. It almost gives you that silk canvas type of feel. And this is no exception. This is like the baby version to that face primer. It does, let's see, it's called Invisipink. Let's see, I've got the box here somewhere. It comes like this. It's called Invisipink. It's the Pro Filt'r Amplifying Eye Primer. And this is what it looks like. It's got the little, it's weird because it's like a triangular, not triangular, it's, I don't even know what to tell you the shape is of this doe foot applicator. It's not flat, it's not triangular, it's got like little things on all four sides. It goes on so nicely, blends in so easily, and I was so impressed by this eyeshadow primer. So if you're in the market to try a new eyeshadow primer, grab this. I can't even tell you how much it intensifies the look of an eyeshadow. The color, it just pops even more than, you know, before for me using an eyeshadow primer or concealer. So obviously dazzled by that one. I'm gonna tell you that this one's a dazzled for me, so I'm kind of like going against the grain right now because a lot of people just are not loving it. I love it. I continue to think that Rihanna can do no wrong when it comes to makeup. I have looked forward to each and every one of her releases for like a year now. The only release I wasn't too over the moon for was her initial launch, and who knew that her foundation would end up being like one of my top 3 of all time. I have so many of her products and I'm just blown away by each and every one of them. I really have not purchased a product of hers that I have not liked. Now there's been a couple that I'm like, okay, I really like this. Maybe I don't, maybe it's not a dazzled, but for the most part, her products have been dazzled for me, and this is no exception. But keeping all those things in mind, please, that some of those mattes are very dry and chalky to the touch. While I did not have issues with some of them, it doesn't mean you may not. The only one, again, is this gray one that really kind of gave me a little bit of trouble, but that's not a deal breaker for me. I loved everything else in this palette. It does give you that Moroccan vibe. So deeper skin tone ladies, check out Jackie's video to see if you think this would be right for you before you take the plunge for $59. I love it. And the packaging on point with the clouds. I just can't even. Lastly, guys, I want to take you into the Flyliner. I'm not really a felt liner type of girl because, you know, I like my gel liner and I like my angled brush because I'm not steady and, you know, I can never get that perfect wing that we all want to achieve. So I stay away from the pen liners. I've tried several over the years, the Kat Von D, the Stila, most recently the Tarte Double Ended because it was part of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and have liked it very much. However, I still struggle. So I had read that this was going to be super, super thin point. It's called Flyliner. Right now she only has one shade, but I have heard that she might be looking into releasing additional shades. Who knows? I hope so. The shade is called Kazan Black, and so obviously it's a black eyeliner. It's got a triangular shape to it, so the grip is very, very just nice and easy. Hope you can see that. It's not round, so it just fits really nicely in your grip. And this is the tip. Super, super skinny, really tiny. And I was like, okay, you know what? She does makeup right. Everything she releases has been on point. She knows what she's doing. I think I'm going to take the plunge and pay the $20 to try this out. By the way, I want to say the eyeshadow primer was $22, just for reference. Comes with 0.27 fluid ounces, made in the USA. This one, I am wearing it today. Let me see if this one says where it's made. It's made in Korea. How interesting that like each one of her products has been made in different places. Anyways, guys, I can't even tell you how blown away I am by this. If you are not consistent with your wing liner, like me, you get kind of shaky, you breathe heavy, and you're like holding your breath as you, oh my gosh, I feel like I need to go stock up on these because every time I find that I really like something, they discontinue it. You guys, this is the most perfect winged liner I have probably ever done. And it's with a pen liner. blows my mind, you guys. It's super black. If you want to go thick, all you have to do is kind of lay it down. If you want to go thin to start your wing, you just do the tip, and it is just the most precise application of life. It gets right into here, and I can't even with this. This thing blows my mind. I cannot even believe that this thing is this good. If you are in the market for a new eyeliner, go try the Flyliner, and if she comes out with more, I am totally picking up other colors. Okay guys, dazzled on all counts here. I mean, I'm not surprised that I was dazzled, but honestly, with so many, again, kind of negative reviews coming out about this, I was like, oh gosh, maybe it's not that good. And again, I didn't know if like being biased was gonna, no, it's amazing. I love it, but that's not to say you would love it too. Just keep those things in mind that I mentioned. Okay guys, before I let you go, I do need to give you the verse of the day as usual. Today's comes from Revelation 22:12. Very short and to the point. It's Jesus saying, "Look, I am coming soon." Those of you who are familiar with reading your Bible, you know Jesus is coming very, very soon. The world is chaos, and so the Bible is an amazing way for those of you who are just curious about like, okay, why is the world so chaotic, this or that. The Bible is your tool for just, you know, the Bible has it all. It's your handbook for life, and Jesus is coming soon for those who are looking for him. So it is my hope that if you have not asked Jesus into your heart, that you would just hear him knocking on your heart's door and just allow him to be your very best friend, your companion. I feel like I repeat that over and over, but I cannot say it enough. He has been so amazing. He's everything, and it's not to push it down your throat, anything like that. You know, if you decide otherwise, that's definitely your decision. I would just encourage you to let Jesus love on you. Let your heart feel his love, because it is amazing, and he is coming soon. It gives us that hope to look forward to in a very chaotic and ever-changing world. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye, guys.